Time to strap on the runners, put on your rollerblades, or jump on the bike? We've got the city's best trails next on TO's Number 1. At first glance, the city may seem like nothing but concrete, noise, and traffic. But in today's episode, we'll help you escape to places practically in your own backyard. No need to trek out to the Muskokas. Don't believe me? Just wait and we'll show you our picks for the city's best trails. We begin our countdown with one of the prettiest trails in the city.
High Park is one of the most amazing places to go for a jog, especially early in the season. So when the cherry blossoms are out and there's a beautiful scent in the air.
Many people come out to this line of trees in the park, and everyone's taking pictures, and it's a unique part of Toronto that you don't see everywhere, and it's a beauty, especially if you're new to the city, to go and witness this little part of, I imagine this is like a mini part of Japan in Toronto as well, and it's beautiful.
The best time to see those cherry blossoms in full bloom are in late April or early May. Aside from the trees, there are many other splendors in High Park that will divert your attention along the more than 5 kilometers of trails, including the High Park Zoo, the fairy tale-like Jamie Bell Playground, and the Children's Garden. If you like running on dirt trails versus sidewalks, then you'll love High Park. The wide paths are completely free of bikes as they're only permitted on paved roads. Try entering in the north by Ellis Park Road and wind your way down through the West Ravine trails or alongside beautiful Grenadier Pond. You can stroll through Hillside Gardens and finally make your way down to historic Colburn Lodge. Public washrooms in the park open in late May each year, and parking is free of charge. Accessibility via transit is a dream, which makes High Park Trails a dream come true for those wanting a leisurely walk in an urban center.
The park is so amazing, it's so massive, and of course there's just so much to see and do there. So take an adventure, go for a run, take your bike, whatever you can, probably even take your dog, and enjoy the park. It's so wonderful. It's one of the hidden gems of the city, absolutely.
Our next trail is what could be considered the heart of the city's trail system, as several trails connect into it like a series of arteries.
If you get a chance, pop down to the Don Valley Trail, right by the Don River. Absolutely gorgeous, and if you get there in the fall and the leaves are changing, you're in a different world. You don't feel like you're that close to the city.
Both Taylor Creek, Riverdale Farm, and the Beltline Trail to the historic Don Valley Brickworks are accessible via the Lower Don Trail.
You know, sometimes I go down the ravine, you know, with the dog, and we'll go down to the Brickworks and that wonderful market that happens there on a Saturday morning. That's fun. I take a lot of the strolls through my neighborhood. I live in Rosedale, and it's just wonderful, the ambiance of the whole neighborhood. The streets are so inspiring.
And the thing I love about those trails is that depending on where you turn, you can pretty much end up anywhere. And again, it's cooler because it's in a ravine area. So really, really great for actually all seasons, to be honest.
Commuters along the Don Valley Parkway rarely get to enjoy the beauty of the ravine. But cyclists are able to take in the dense foliage, the trickling waters of the Rocky River, the engineering marvel of the Blue River Viaduct, and the wetlands of the Don River.
There's just the nice Don River on one side and the highway on the other side, and trains go by, lots of action to see. Nothing's worse than running and not seeing anything, and the Don Valley Parkway is the perfect place to see a multitude of different things and lots of action.
That whole trail system down by the Don Valley actually has quite a few water fountains and washrooms that are open during the season. So you don't need to, a lot of times you may forgot your water, you drank your water, at least you have, you could hydrate, refill, and you have plenty of clean washrooms on grid.
The area is currently undergoing a massive redevelopment plan that will see even more connections to the trail, as well as adding artwork and connecting bridge. With its many access points and connections, the Lower Don Trail serves as a secret passageway to many of the city's gems. If you're looking for a trail system that's truly like stepping out of the city, look no further than our number 8 pick, the Humber Arboretum. Located just adjacent to Humber College near the top of the 427 in Finch, more than 6 kilometers of trails are a mix of paved, hard-packed gravel, and grass more suited to those looking for a good long walk through its more than 1,700 species of trees and flowering plants.
The North Campus, Humber College, by the Arboretum there's some really nice hiking trails around in the back. It's mixed woods. You've got the river there as well. And Toronto is full of deer. You'd be surprised how many white-tailed deer there are. I've seen numerous deer out there, and it's quite a surprise. You know, here we are, and there's white deer just coming off the trail system.
The Arboretum first opened back in 1977 by students at Humber College and covers approximately 250 acres of land in the West Humber Valley. Be sure to use the washroom facilities at the college before you head along the trail system, as the hike will take approximately 2 hours. And be sure to bring water bottle too, as the only water source you'll find is the Humber River. Transit to Humber can take a while, but parking is free, and your lungs will thank you for giving them this much oxygen. Our next pick for Toronto's best trail is one Goldilocks would approve of. It's not too hard, not too soft, not too bright, and not too shaded.
My favorite bike trail in Toronto is definitely the one that winds through Sunnybrook Park. It's Wilkett Creek Park. It's a long bike trail. It's very peaceful. The scenery is amazing. It's not overly used. And if you're not biking, it's a great jogging trail as well. I know I've walked it many times in the fall. The colors are phenomenal. And it's just a really wonderful little piece of solace right in the middle of the city.
Located adjacent to Sunnybrook Park, access is easy via Leslie Street at Eglinton. This narrow, winding ravine is nicely shaded with its numerous varieties of mature trees. The trails are a mix of paved and gravel. Residents are a mixture of cyclists, dog walkers, and leisure walkers. The trail is a nature lover's paradise with its picturesque bridges and undisturbed woodland. Moist marshes and groundwater seeps flow towards the creek, providing the perfect music to drown out the urban noise. Bike, walk, jog, take buddy for a stroll. No matter what your choice, you'll never go wrong at Wilkett Creek. More escape for the concrete jungle as we continue the countdown of the city's best trails, including a few trails that'll have us flipping out. Welcome back to TO's number 1. Today's episode is all about getting back to nature, in the city that is. It may be hard to believe, but the city has some amazing trails that will make you forget you even live in Toronto. Discover an early Victorian hotel and pass the site of a former First Nations village on our next trail along the lower Humber River Valley.
really think is another amazing trail in the west end of the city are the Humber River trails, and there are so many trails there connected to the old mill in that area of town, all the way from the waterfront right up north. You can find tons of great trails, and these are old First Nations lands, so sort of a nice history there, and you kind of feel the history when you're exploring these trails. And again, off-road biking, running, walking, hiking, whatever you like.
A great starting point for this historical walk is the restored Lambton House Hotel on Old Dundas Street. From there, walk clockwise through historic neighborhoods down through Etienne Brule Park and eventually towards the old mill.
What I love about hiking or biking that area is just the Humber River itself, because you have the series of falls there, Lowhead dams, and it's just, the river itself is huge.
In the fall, be sure to look out for salmon leaping upriver to spawn.
If you love nature, you'll feel like you're in British Columbia, actually, with the salmon that are spawning and the trout going up. It's really a sight to see. You gotta go down there and see that. Just for that, you have these huge fish, about 3 feet, 2 feet, going up the river and spawning. Absolutely fantastic. And again, we're still in Toronto.
The best viewing spot is at Etienne Brule Park around 4 p.m. on a sunny day. Most don't make the leap and fall prey to the many fishermen's hooks. Easily accessible at the Old Mill subway station, this trail is for historical lovers and nature lovers alike. Looking for a trail that'll give you a real workout? We found it for you at spot number 5. Earl Bales Park is located on the site of the old York Downs golf course, still evident by a few old tees and greens left standing through the park. There are 2 ski and snowboard centers with cross-country groomed trails. Try beginning your workout at the Westgate Boulevard entrance that runs along a little creek. You'll slowly make your way around to the bottom of the ski hill. If you're up to the challenge, you can walk directly up the hill in the summer.
If you want a real workout, and during the summer or when the snow's gone, and you're allowed to, climbing up that hill is certainly a cardiovascular workout for sure.
The 5-kilometer trail has a total descent of 38.42 meters and a maximum elevation of 187.82 meters. Enough to get your heart pumping and legs hurting. Many like the rugged path for mountain biking, but keep in mind it is a narrow trail shared by pedestrians and dog walkers. But if you hate squats and want to work the lower body, there's no beating climbing a ski hill. At spot number 4, it's time to head east along the waterfront to one of the best natural wonders of the city, the Scarborough Bluffs.
The Scarborough Bluffs, if you've never seen them, are spectacular, and there are amazing trails there for walking, hiking, running, even biking.
Located at the bottom of Brimley Road, this park on the waterfront is more quiet and secluded, stretching almost 14 kilometers along the Lake Ontario shore. While you walk along the trail, be sure to soak in a snapshot of natural evolution. The bluffs have been formed primarily by erosion of the packed clay soil. At cliffside, the bluffs rise 65 meters above the water.
If you're coming down those bluffs, you better realize that you have to go back up that road, which is an amazing cardiovascular workout.
Especially Scarborough Bluffs is more just you're there by yourself, you can focus and do your thing, and no one's there to bother you, no cars, so it's good.
Because most of the park is sand, the trails are not great for cycling. But the boardwalk isn't crowded and full of volleyball courts like those closer to downtown, and you can't beat the views, both on the water and on land, when you're at the bluffs.
What's so beautiful is that when you look up at the bluffs, there are these beautiful clay formations that have happened through the erosion, so it's just such a wonderful thing to look at, and I can't believe it's so close to downtown Toronto.
When we return, we'll bring you the final 3 best trails in the city. You don't want to miss it. Welcome back to TO's number 1. If you're an outdoorsy person but trapped in the city, you'll be glad you tuned in because we're counting down the city's best trails. As always, we've saved the best for last. Time to check in at number 3. Did you know that there's a unique urban wilderness only minutes from downtown? Tommy Thompson Park, also known as the Leslie Street Spit, is one of the best nature watching areas in the GTA.
Tommy Thompson Park, also known as Leslie Spit. I feel it's better for biking rather than hiking because there's not really many trails there. It's paved. So, and you have such a beautiful bike ride out there, and you could cool off in the summer, and you have the lake on both sides. And you just glide. You don't have to worry about traffic or anything like that. However, I will say this, if you're into bird watching, absolutely. Bring your binoculars and walk down.
Extending 5 kilometers into Lake Ontario, Tommy Thompson Park includes a wide range of inhabitants, including wildflower meadows, cottonwood forests, coastal marshes, cobble beaches, and sand dunes. It's hard to believe this is a man-made peninsula constructed since the late 1950s by the disposal of dredged material from the outer harbour and surplus fill from the development sites within Toronto.
Tommy Thompson Park is on the Leslie Street Spit, so it's way out beyond the island. So when you're going for a walk there, you can look back on the city. It's beautiful. You can look out to the sailing boats that are out in the water. But it's so amazing because you're out further beyond the islands than you would be if you went to the islands. But it's connected to the mainland. And the other thing that's beautiful about that park is the natural wildlife. So there's a bird sanctuary there. People go, they look for birds, they look for natural wildlife. It's just a very quiet, beautiful, calming place.
It's only open on weekends and holidays, but well worth checking out for hiking, cycling, rollerblading, and fishing. And you couldn't find a better spot to view Canada Day fireworks. Are you ready to jump on your bike or slip on the rollerblades along a beautiful lakeside route? Then check out our runner-up, the Martin Goodman Trail.
I just love being by the water. I love sunny days, and because I jog for a long period of time, I know I have to get back as well, so it's encouraging for me to speed up. And then of course all the other joggers is also very motivating, especially with their cute little outfits. So I'm like, yeah, I gotta get my jogging game on.
Anytime I can be close to the water, I'm good. So when I want to go for a run, head down to the boardwalk, and it doesn't matter where you start, where you end, it's all good.
Well, we've had such a long and brutal winter that I'm really excited about spring and summer and getting my bike all ready to go. And I love going down from King and Bathurst area where I live all the way down to the beaches. So I can either take King and Queen all the way down, that it's about a 45-minute bike ride, or the scenic route, which is going along the waterfront and Cherry Beach, and that's about an hour and 15 minutes, but it's one of my favorite bike trails in the city.
Some sections of the trail are on regular roads, but since it opened in 1984, Waterfront Toronto has been adding off-road portions. A wide, bi-directional asphalt path goes uninterrupted from the Humber River in the west to the foot of Bathurst Street in the east. In between are some of the nicest waterfront areas in the city, including Ontario Place. Between the Palais Royal, bottom of Roncesvalles Avenue, and the Humber River, there's a separate boardwalk for pedestrians.
That is a beautiful trail in the summertime when it's really warm. You could go right down to the beaches, all the way up to Etobicoke. And on a warm day, I certainly recommend it. And there's actually quite a few spots to eat along that trail too, with pretty healthy foods.
I used to love jogging along the waterfront. Any little pockets, you know, where you can discover new restaurants. Once my husband and I made the mistake of jogging too far, we had to cab it back. Some shame in that. All sweaty. Luckily we had some money though for the cab ride.
Just in case you're feeling really ambitious, the Martin Goodman Trail is part of the 730-kilometer waterfront trail around Lake Ontario. Before we get to our pick for the city's best trail, let's recap our list. At number 10, the charm and splendor of High Park's trails, especially during the bloom of the cherry blossoms. At number 9, cruise down the Don Valley, this time on your bike, and take in the real beauty of the ravine. At number 8, get a good long walk through 1,700 different species of trees and flowering plants at the Humber Arboretum. At number 7, you'll be hard-pressed to find anything wrong with the natural beauty of the winding trails of Wilkett Creek. At number 6, take in some history as you walk along the trails of the lower Humber River down to the old mill and cross over the nearly century-old bridge. At number 5, if you're looking to get your heart pumping, you'll get a real workout climbing the ski hill at Earl Bales Park during the summer months. At number 4, witness one of the city's best natural wonders at the Scarborough Bluffs. At number 3, Tommy Thompson Park, better known as the Leslie Street Spit, is the best for that leisurely bike ride as you'll encounter varieties of birds and wildlife while taking in the water on both sides. At number 2, trek right across the city along the waterfront and the Martin Goodman Trail and stop in along the many shops and restaurants along the way. And finally, our pick for the city's best trail. If there is one spot in the city that make you think twice about where you are, it would be the rustic trails of Rouge Park. Toronto's largest park and best kept secret, covers over 40 square kilometers of wetland, wilderness areas, historic farmlands, and fishing areas.
Actually, the landscape is really spectacular. You have beautiful valleys, you have the Rouge River going through, an abundance of wildlife, and you actually feel like you're up north.
There's really no wrong turn to be had in this park, but if you're unsure, guided walks by volunteer leaders are available. Walk a 200-year-old logging route along Mass Trail or experience the cool green canopy of mature trees on the Cedar Trail as butterflies flutter about. You can take in the panoramic view of the bluffs along Vista Trail or stroll on the boardwalk at Rouge Beach. Orchard Trail gets you close to the river through mixed woods and up a nice hill, providing a great view and huge calorie burn. You'll need to bring a really good pair of sturdy shoes as the trails can be rugged, steep, and sometimes slippery. Not all areas are accessible via transit, which is no surprise given its size, but parking is plentiful and the park is open all year round. If you want to get out of the city without actually leaving the city, you'll find that and so much more in Rouge Park. sure covered the city in this episode, and man, oh man, am I pooped! Thanks for joining us. Remember, we'd love your feedback, so please send us an email or connect with us on Facebook. You can also see past episodes by checking out our website. We'll be back again next week to find another TO's Number 1.